If beauty is a gift, would you risk altering it in pursuit of something just out of reach? From the black alien to so-called living dolls, we step into a world of extreme transformation where personal freedom meets serious medical risk. What drives individuals to make such profound changes? In this video, we take a closer, thoughtful look at these stories and reflect on a deeper question. What does it truly mean to be human in a world shaped by choice and consequence? The courage to evolve. The radical metamorphosis of Jessica Alves. Jessica Alves, a Brazilian-British media figure, has built her life around a determined search for alignment between her inner identity and outward appearance. She first gained global attention under the nickname Human Ken Doll, a label that reflected her early cosmetic transformations. In later years, however, Jessica shared a more personal truth: she identifies as a woman. Her journey represents far more than aesthetic change. It is a deeply personal process of self-realization shaped by both emotional conviction and physical endurance. To bring her Vneshnia image into harmony with her identity, Jessica has undergone more than 100 cosmetic procedures. These include facial feminization, breast augmentation, and gender-affirming surgeries. Her transformation has been extensive and carefully pursued over time. Yet the process has not been without significant health challenges. After undergoing numerous rhinoplasty procedures, she experienced serious complications, including tissue damage and the loss of her sense of smell. These outcomes underscore the medical risks associated with repeated surgeries and the level of commitment her journey has required. Despite physical hardships and constant public attention, Jessica continues to speak openly about her experiences. She regards each procedure as a step toward living authentically. By moving beyond rigid expectations she faced earlier in life, she has become an advocate for self-expression and personal truth. While the financial cost estimated at over $1 million and the physical toll have been substantial, Jessica emphasizes that the sense of alignment she now feels is what matters most, seeing her true self reflected in the mirror. The metamorphosis of Anthony Loffredo, the Black Alien Project. Anthony Loffredo has turned his life into what he describes as a living work of art, an ongoing experiment he calls the Black Alien Project. For him, this is not a quest for fame or shock value, but a deeply personal exploration of identity and autonomy. While many observers may find his appearance unsettling, Loffredo sees it as a deliberate effort to move beyond conventional human limits and exercise complete authority over his own body. His transformation began in familiar territory with tattoos. Over time, however, his ambitions grew far beyond traditional body art. He pursued extreme surgical procedures that challenge widely accepted ideas of beauty and normalcy. Among the most notable changes, he underwent a rhinotomy, removing his nose, and had both ears surgically removed to create a more otherworldly profile. He also traveled abroad to undergo procedures not permitted in many countries, including the removal of part of his upper lip, which altered his speech but intensified his intended aesthetic. His tongue has been split and dyed green, and his body is almost entirely covered in black ink, including areas as sensitive as the scalp and even the surface of his eyes. In a more recent and controversial development, Loffredo chose to remove 2 fingers from his left hand to create a claw-like shape. Critics emphasize the permanent risks and consequences of such decisions. Nonetheless, he remains steadfast, viewing his transformation as a powerful expression of personal freedom, the belief that even in a world that often values conformity, an individual can still choose to become something entirely different. The feline metamorphosis of Joselyn Wildenstein, the Catwoman of New York. Joselyn Wildenstein, a Swiss-born socialite long associated with New York's high society, remains one of the most widely recognized figures linked to cosmetic transformation. Often referred to in the tabloids as Catwoman, her appearance has been the subject of public fascination for decades. Unlike more recent figures in the spotlight, her story began in the late 20th century and unfolded gradually over many years. Accounts of her motivations have varied. Some reports suggested her look was influenced by her former husband's appreciation for big cats. though she herself has not consistently confirmed this narrative. What is clear is that her appearance evolved through numerous cosmetic procedures. These are believed to include eyelid surgeries, facial implants, and other enhancements that contributed to her distinctive sculpted features. Estimates of the total cost have reached into the millions of dollars, reflecting both the scale and duration of her transformation. Despite frequent media criticism and public scrutiny, Wildenstein has maintained a composed and confident stance. She has repeatedly expressed satisfaction with her appearance, framing it as a personal choice rather than a misstep. For many observers in the United States, her story illustrates the intersection of wealth, individuality, and the freedom to pursue unconventional ideals. Now, later in life, she continues to stand by her decisions, presenting herself as someone who shaped her identity on her own terms. Her legacy invites reflection on changing standards of beauty and the extent to which personal expression can redefine them. The architectural vision of Joselyn Jedlicka, engineering the human Ken. Joselyn Jedlicka, often referred to as the human Ken doll, has spent more than 2 decades approaching his appearance as a carefully planned design project. Beginning at the age of 18, his journey was driven by a desire to move beyond what he saw as the limits of genetics, and instead shape his body according to his own aesthetic vision, rather than correcting perceived imperfections. Jedlicka has described his approach as custom body design, treating the human form as something that can be refined with precision over time. Over the years, he has reportedly undergone hundreds of cosmetic procedures, investing a substantial sum estimated in the hundreds of thousands to over $1 million. His methods are notably technical. In some cases, he has worked closely with surgeons to develop customized silicone implants when standard options did not meet his preferences. His procedures have included multiple rhinoplasties and extensive body sculpting, such as implants in the chest, shoulders, and back, creating a consistently defined and muscular appearance. For Jedlicka, this long process is not simply about appearance, but about personal agency and self-expression. He has framed his choices as part of a broader belief in self-invention, the idea that individuals can actively shape how they present themselves to the world. While his transformation has drawn both admiration and criticism, he continues to stand by his perspective that, through modern medical techniques and careful planning, a person can move closer to their own vision of identity. The ethereal metamorphosis of Valeria Lukyanova, the human Barbie. Valeria Lukyanova, widely known as the human Barbie, rose to global attention for an appearance that seems to echo the proportions of a doll more than those of an ordinary person. With large, carefully emphasized eyes and a notably slender waist, she became a subject of fascination and debate, representing a highly stylized vision of beauty that challenges conventional expectations. Valeria has publicly acknowledged undergoing breast augmentation while attributing much of her look to disciplined lifestyle choices, makeup techniques, and visual presentation. Observers have speculated about additional procedures, but many of these claims remain unconfirmed. Her distinctive appearance is also shaped by the use of contact lenses and precise cosmetic styling, which together create a polished, almost artificial aesthetic. At one point, she drew controversy for discussing breatharianism, the belief that a person can live without conventional food. However, such ideas are widely regarded by medical professionals as unsafe and not grounded in science. In recent years, Valeria has shifted her attention towards spiritual and personal development topics, moving somewhat away from the image that first brought her fame. Even so, she remains a notable figure in discussions about beauty standards and self-expression in modern culture. Her story highlights both the appeal and the risks of pursuing highly idealized forms of appearance, raising thoughtful questions about identity perception and the boundaries between natural form and artistic self-creation. The surreal metamorphosis of Pixie Fox, a living fairy tale and its cost. Pixie Fox, a Swedish-born model, became widely known for her attempt to transform her appearance into what she has described as a living cartoon. Inspired by stylized characters with exaggerated proportions, she pursued an extensive series of cosmetic procedures over several years. Her goal was to reshape her body in ways that reflected fantasy rather than conventional human anatomy. Her transformation has included numerous surgeries, among them breast augmentation, facial procedures, and body contouring. One of her most discussed choices was the removal of several ribs to create an unusually narrow waistline. She also underwent eye color changing procedures, which are considered high risk and are not widely approved in many countries. In addition, she sought specialized surgeries abroad, reflecting both the complexity of her goals and the limitations of standard medical practice in some regions. While her appearance drew global attention, her journey has also highlighted serious medical concerns. Reports indicate that complications from surgery led to significant health issues, underscoring the physical risks associated with repeated and invasive procedures. These experiences appear to have influenced her outlook in later years. For many observers, particularly in the United States, Pixie Fox's story has evolved from a tale of extreme self-expression into a cautionary example. It raises important questions about the limits of cosmetic modification and the balance between personal freedom and long-term well-being. Today, her experience serves as a reminder that the pursuit of highly idealized forms can carry consequences that extend far beyond appearance. The radical transition of Martina Big. A journey beyond skin deep. Martina Big, a former flight attendant from Germany, has become a controversial figure in discussions about identity and self-expression. She first gained attention for undergoing extensive cosmetic procedures, including very large breast augmentations. In 2017, however, her public profile shifted significantly when she began using melanotan 2, a synthetic hormone, to darken her skin tone to a much deeper level, sparking widespread international debate. Martina has described her transformation as more than cosmetic. She has stated that she identifies with a different racial identity and has taken steps she believes reflect that, including adopting a new name and traveling abroad for personal and spiritual experiences. These actions have drawn strong criticism, particularly from scholars and civil rights advocates, who emphasize that race is shaped by history, culture, and lived experience, not solely by physical appearance. Medical experts have also raised concerns about the safety of substances like melanotan 2, which is not widely approved for cosmetic use and may carry health risks. This adds another layer of complexity to her story, beyond the social and ethical debates it has already generated. For many observers in the United States, Martina Big's journey highlights difficult and sensitive questions surrounding cultural identity, personal freedom, and the limits of self-definition. While she maintains that her choices reflect personal liberty, others see her case as a cautionary example of how far individual transformation can go before it intersects with broader societal concerns. Her story remains a striking illustration of the evolving and sometimes contentious boundaries of identity in the modern world. The resilience of Raji Narina Singh, a survival story from the shadows. Raji Narina Singh became widely known after sharing her experience on the television program Botched, bringing national attention to the dangers of unregulated cosmetic procedures. Her story began in 2005, when seeking a more feminine appearance but unable to afford licensed medical care, she turned to an unqualified practitioner. What followed was a serious medical crisis. She was injected with substances later reported to include industrial silicone and other non-medical materials, leading to severe complications. The physical consequences were profound. Hardened masses formed in her face and body as her system reacted to the foreign substances, causing long-term pain and visible disfigurement. For a period, she withdrew from public life while coping with both physical and emotional effects. Years later, reconstructive efforts by qualified surgeons helped reduce some of the damage and improve her quality of life. Though the process was complex and carried its own risks, in the years since, Narina Singh has used her experience to raise awareness. She speaks openly about the importance of safe, regulated medical care and the risks associated with illicit procedures. She has also become an advocate within the transgender community, encouraging others to seek legitimate and medically supervised options. Her journey resonates with many Americans as a story not only of hardship, but of perseverance and accountability. It underscores a broader message, while the desire for self-expression is deeply personal. Safety and informed decision-making remain essential. Through her voice, Raji Narinesing continues to turn a painful chapter into a source of education and advocacy. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new videos. See you in the next one.